Listen, we think that the orphan killing machine is actually bad, and we should probably stop killing 100 orphans a month. And the Republicans are like, well, now wait a minute. Why don't we just cut it down to 50 a month? Come on, let's compromise here. And then they pass this Saving Orphans Act, and the Democrats are like, well, all you guys, we'll cut it to 75 just for you. Okay, it is almost 9 p.m. EST. We just discovered that Biden is doing the State of the Union address basically right now. So that's what I'll be doing and see what the old Dark Brandon's got going on.
It'll be interesting to see not only how long will these cabinet members remain, but who could some of the new individuals be that could replace those who leave.
Eugene, Annie, Tara, Brendan, Marie, I see you guys over there as well. Thank you so much for all of your insight tonight. We want to thank all of our panelists and reporters throughout the night. Our special coverage continues right now.
There she is.
With an NBC News special report. I'm Tom Yamas. Thank you so much for watching this.
My savior, Kamala, Slay Queen.
Tonight, President Biden and the State of Our Union.
President Biden's State of the Union. Live from Washington. Here are Lester Holt and Savannah Guthrie.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lester Holt here along with Savannah
better.
Guthrie. Just moments from now, President Joe Biden will enter the House chamber to give the State of the Union address. It comes with the president getting closer to launching a re-election bid.
Tonight could be the president's best chance to make his case to the nation that he deserves a second term. But
do you think that he'll announce he'll finally announce that he's rolling out the forced estrogen program?
The country is headed in.
Wait, is that a fucking Crayola crayon? Why does she have? Wait, why do they all have Crayola crayons? What's going on with that?
President's arrival. We have our full NBC News team here with us.
Not sponsored by
Christy
Crayola.
Walker, Chuck Todd,
by the way,
Hallie Jackson, as well as correspondents spread out around the world.
So let's get it started. We'll have NBC senior Capitol Hill correspondent Garrett Hake lead us off. He's in the House chamber. We're already seeing the dignitaries arrive, members of the Supreme Court. Garrett, give us a lay of the land.
Cringe Ukraine flag.
When President Biden arrives in the chamber in a minute here, he's going to see a
Ukraine flag on suit. Opinion invalid.
Before Congress. First of all, this chamber is
owned.
packed. There are no
Liberal
longer
owned.
any COVID-19 restrictions in place. No masking, no social distancing, no requirements for testing, which means unlike his previous two addresses to the nation, every seat
Force
will be
Femme
filled.
Special
We are
Forces,
standing
baby.
room only at capacity. It could be a lively room too, because many of those seats are filled with this new Republican House majority. When the president comes in through that center door, he's going to see the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy directly in front of him. Now, McCarthy and Biden have both praised each other so far. They have said they have worked well together so far. But McCarthy's members have been opening investigation after
I hope that
investigation.
I hope that he rips off his skin. Like he starts off normal, like Joe Brandon, right? Stuttering, whatever, and then he like peels off his skin and he's like a demon underneath. You know what I mean? You fools! At last, the forced estrogenization begins. He's shedding? No. Molting. Technically, it's called molting when they're reptilians. Woo! There he is.
President making his way into the
There's
chambers,
my boy.
being greeted all
It's
smiles
my boy.
Right now we'll see what it looks like at the end, but. President on time.
No, it's all good.
And,
Thank you.
Normally,
Thank you for your
about 10
diligence.
minutes of what you're seeing right now. Greetings before we expect him to take the podium and begin his remarks.
A lot of pressing of the flesh. Often in history, certain members of Congress save those seats, want to get that face time with the president. As Garrett mentioned, this is a different chamber he's facing. The first time he'll address divided government as president of the United States.
Listen, let me know if Dark Brandon actually convinced anything. Yeah, I'll also let you know if pigs start flying. He will ascend from his mortal frame at last. Yes, we do have a new kitty. She's very
don't even know exactly what they are.
She knows it
You
too.
can communicate that directly to Americans tonight, with the takeaway being that Joe Biden has your back. He will say jobs are coming back and pride is coming back. Watch him use 2023.
Say pride?
in the
Pride's coming back?
Tonight as
Dog, how awesome would it be if like Biden just showed up at a pride parade wearing nothing but a rainbow speedo? That'd be sick. I'm with the homo, queer, sexual, the gay stuff, Jack. That'd be the ultimate show of allyship.
Cancer, of course, for this president, the stakes are very high.
And also
right
be
now,
very
not
hot.
Just for his administration
I'll bet he's
in
packing.
this term, but for his presidential future. This, in many ways, is the unofficial kickoff to 2024. where
Joe Biden
among
will
other
finally
things,
announce
his
the
job
beginning of
tonight
human
will be to try to
instrumentality.
convince
Yes.
Democrats that he's
Let it
prepared for
begin.
another
Let
4
it
years.
begin. Dang, that
Henry
fucking
Mitchell is
comb over,
NBC's
dog.
chief
Just
Washington
shave
and
it
chief
off.
foreign-
I don't know about you guys, but at a certain point, I was finally just like, you know what? It's coming off. I'd do that if I was him. It's just like, I don't know. There's no point in keeping it past a certain point. Just go full Lex Luthor, man. It's over.
The President of the United States.
Woo! Yeah, buddy. It is so nice of the elderly home to let him feel like this, you know, let him feel important like this, and all these people who showed up in support. I hear they packed his meds in a little plastic baggie and everything.
Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President,
All right, here we go.
our First Lady and Second Gentleman, good to see you guys up there.
Woo!
Members of Congress,
Joe Brandon. Why is he running again? Because reasons. It's a gerontocracy, baby. The older, the better.
by the way, Chief Justice, I may need a court order. She gets to go to the game tomorrow, next week. I have to stay home.
Well, which one?
Got to work something out here. Members of the cabinet, leaders of our
First he says
military,
tomorrow,
Chief
then
Justice,
next week.
Associate
Keep it
Justice,
straight, man.
And retired Justice of the Supreme Court. And to you, my fellow Americans, you know, I start tonight by congratulating the 118th Congress and the new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, awesome. Love that. Spit on his fucking hand, dude.
Speaker, I don't want to ruin your reputation, but I look forward to working with you.
Okay,
I
that
want
was
to congratulate
kind of
the new
that was
leader
kind
of
of
the
fun.
House Democrats, the first African-American minority leader in history, Hakeem Jeffries.
Okay, all right.
In spite of the fact I campaigned for him. Congratulations to the longest serving leader in the history of the United States Senate,
Do
Mitch
it.
McConnell. Where are you, Mitch?
Kill them. Kill them and put estrogen in their husks. Do it. Thank you. I'm Mitch McConnell.
You know, another term as Senate minority
My own
leader.
party wanted to kill me.
You know, I think you. Only this time you have a slightly bigger majority, Mr. Leader. You're the majority leader. About that much bigger? Yeah. Well, I tell you what. I want to give special recognition to someone who I think is going to be considered the greatest speaker in the history of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi.
Really? That's kind of sad, bro. Biden out here posting L's. That's the best we have?
Folks, the story of America is a story of progress and resilience, of always moving forward, of never, ever giving up. It's a story unique among all nations. We're the only country that has emerged from every crisis we've ever entered stronger than we got into it. Look, folks, that's what we're doing again. 2 years ago, the economy
I have
was
heard
reeling.
this, Younger Master.
I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs. More jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years because of you all, because of the American people.
Thought it was about to rickroll you.
2 years ago, COVID had shut down. Our businesses were closed. Our schools were robbed of so much. And today, COVID no longer controls our lives.
Because
And 2
we
years
elected
ago,
to ignore it.
Democracy faced its greatest threat to the Civil War, and today, though bruised, our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken.
COVID's, hold on.
When world leaders ask me to define America, and they do, believe it or not, I say I can define it in one word, and I mean this: possibilities. We don't think anything is beyond our capacity. Everything is a possibility. You know, we're often told that Democrats and Republicans can't work together. But over the past 2 years, we've proved the cynics and naysayers wrong. Yes, we disagreed plenty. And yes, there were times when Democrats went alone. But time and again, Democrats and Republicans came together to defend a stronger and safer Europe.
No,
We came
Biden.
together to pass once in a generation infrastructure law, building bridges.
It's over.
connecting
The
our nation
handlers
and our
reigned in the
people.
darkness.
We came together to pass
The
most
darkness has
significant law
receded
ever,
back inside of
helping
his
victims
soul.
exposed to toxic burn pits. And in fact,
Never to reemerge. Come on. Call the Republicans some big dumb meanies. What did I miss? Basically nothing.
In fact, I signed over 300 bipartisan pieces of legislation since becoming president, from reauthorizing the Violence Against Women Act, the Electoral Count Reform Act, the Respect for Marriage Act that protects the right to marry the person you love, and to my Republican friends, if we could work together the last Congress...
Calling the Respect for Marriage Act bipartisan is being very generous toward the Republicans. Barely any of them voted for it.
I think...
Like, just enough of them voted for it that it passed.
Folks, you all are as informed as I am, but I think the people sent us a clear message.
Half the Republicans, fucking 90% of them, I think.
Conflict for the sake of conflict gets us nowhere. That's always been my vision of our country, and I know it's many of yours. To restore the soul of this nation, to rebuild the backbone of America, America's middle class, and to unite the country. We've been sent here to finish the job, in my view. For decades, the middle class has been hollowed out.
You're on your third year out of 4.
Not one administration, but for a long time. Too many
Finish
good
him.
Manufacturing jobs moved
Finish the
overseas.
job.
Factories closed down. Once thriving cities and towns that many of you represent became shadows of what they used to be. And along the way, something else we lost. Pride. Our sense of self-worth.
I never forget that, Hunger Master.
I ran for president to fundamentally change things, to make sure
it just
our
disappoints me.
economy works
It
for
never
everyone,
stops disappointing me.
so we can all feel that pride in what we do. To build an economy
Pride!
from the bottom up in the middle,
Sounds gay to me.
not from the top down. Because
Sounds
when the
pretty
middle class does
homosexual
well,
queer
the
to
poor
me.
have a ladder up, and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well.
Bernie.
I know a lot
Bernie,
of you
save
always
us.
kid me
I think he's
for
the only
my
one in a
dad, but
mask,
my
isn't
dad
he?
used to say, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck.
Like,
He really would say that.
I am not going to catch that damn virus from these heathens.
It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Well, folks, so let's look at the results. We're not finished yet by any stretch of the imagination, but unemployment rate is at 3.4%, a 50-year low.
That's such a fucking... They're allowed to say that people who are looking for jobs are not unemployed, right? Like if you're on the welfare system and you're actively looking for a job, you're not considered unemployed. They just like fudge the numbers.
We've already created, your help, 800,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs, the fastest growth in 40 years.
God, nobody cares about the fucking stats,
Where is
dude.
it written? Where is it written that America can't lead the world in manufacturing? I don't know where that's written. For too many decades, we
I see it,
imported
Hunger Master.
projects
I
and
see it.
exported jobs. Now, thanks
I
to
don't wanna
what you've all
interrupt this.
done,
This is
we're
live.
exporting American products and creating American jobs. Folks, inflation has been a global problem because the pandemic disrupted our supply chains, and Putin's unfair and brutal war in Ukraine disrupted energy supplies as well as food supplies, blocking all that grain in Ukraine. But we're better positioned than any country on earth right now. But we have more to do. But here at home, inflation is coming down. Here at home, gas prices are down $1.50 from their peak. Food inflation is coming down. Not fast enough, but coming down. Inflation has fallen every month.
Yeah, not
for the
fast
last
enough.
6
Kind of
months.
skipped over that
While
part.
take-home pay has gone up. Additionally, over the last 2 years, a record 10 million Americans applied to start new businesses. 10 million. And by the way, every time.
It is so easy to apply to start a new business, by the way.
Hope. And Madam Vice President, I want to thank you for leading that effort to ensure that small businesses have access to capital and the historic laws we enacted that are going to just come into being. Standing here last year, I shared with you a story of American genius and possibilities. Semiconductors, small computer chips the size of a fingerprint that power everything, from cell phones to automobiles and so much more. These
Why are they
chips were
zooming on that guy?
invented in America. Let's get that straight. They were invented in America. We used to make 40% of the world's chips. In the last several decades, we lost our edge. We're down to only producing 10%.
Is this just old
We
man
all saw
screams
what
at
happened
cloud?
during the pandemic when chip factories shut down overseas. Today's automobiles need 3,000
Back in my day.
chips each of those automobiles. But American automobiles couldn't make
Where are
enough
the
cars
chips
because
at?
there weren't enough chips. Car prices went up, people got laid off. So did everything from refrigerators to cell phones. We can never let that happen again. That's why we came together to pass the Bipartisan Chips and Science Act. I know I've been criticized for saying this, but I'm not changing my view. We're going to make sure the supply chain for America begins in America. The supply chain begins in America.
I'm sorry, like zero average fucking Americans care about this. Nothing he said so far appeals to the average American voter. Nothing.
With this new law, we're going to create hundreds of thousands of new jobs across the country. And I mean all across the country, throughout not just the coast, but through the middle of the country as well. That's going to come from companies that have announced more than $300 billion in investment in American manufacturing over the next few years. Outside of Columbus, Ohio, Intel is building semiconductor factories on 1,000 acres, literally a field of dreams. It's going to create 10,000 jobs, that one investment.
1,000 acres of
factory jobs. 3,000 jobs in those factories once they're finished. They call them factories. Jobs paying
I don't know what kind of dreams you're having, bro, but they're different from
$130,000
mine.
a year, and many do not require a college degree.
Many. Some say about a dozen of them, and they all involve cleaning shit off the floor. That is, of course, if you're in, like, you know, certain areas. Most of them, even the ones requiring you cleaning shit off the floor, still require a college degree.
Think about the new homes, the small businesses, the medium-sized businesses. So much more that's going to be needed to support
the big
those
businesses, the small
3,000
businesses, the medium,
jobs.
the medium-sized
and the
ones.
factories that are going to be built.
The ones between the
Talk to
big and
mayors
the
governors,
medium.
Democrats and
We call it
Republicans,
the
and
bevium.
they'll tell you
The begium.
what this means for their communities. We're seeing these field of dreams transform to the heartland. But to maintain the strongest economy in the world, we need the best infrastructure in the world.
Come on, say something funny. I'm leaking viewers. Talk about your hairy legs. So inspiring.
We've sunk to 13th in the world. The United States of America.
Oh, he's angry.
13th in the world in infrastructure, modern infrastructure. But now we're coming back because we came together and passed the bipartisan infrastructure law, the largest investment in infrastructure since President Eisenhower's interstate highway system.
Angry. Biden is angry.
And folks, already we've
Damn,
funded
look at
over
all of the
20,000
fucking
projects, including major
Were those the
airports in
Republican
Boston,
judges on the
Atlanta, and
left or on the
Portland.
right? I mean,
Projects
their
that
left.
are going to put thousands of people to work rebuilding our highways, our bridges, our railroads, our tunnels, ports, airports, clean water, high-speed internet, all across America. Urban, rural, tribal. And folks, we're just getting started. We're just getting started.
Okay.
I mean it sincerely. Thank my Republican friends who voted for the law.
They're not clapping at
My
all.
Republican friends who voted
I mean, I
against
guess
it
I
as well.
expected that, but it's still funny to
But I'm
see.
still, I still get asked to fund the projects.
Yeah, no, we can definitely be bipartisan, man. We can definitely work with these people who won't even clap for the sitting fucking president giving the State of the Union address, just out of, like, sheer courtesy, right? Just to show that, like, you know, we are all in this together. Nah, fuck you, man. What the fuck was that? That idiot knocked the lid off my garbage can. It's fine.
To get it done. I went there last month with Democrats and Republicans and from both states to deliver a commitment of $1.6 billion for this project.
Okay.
And while I was there, I met a young woman named Sarah, who's here tonight. I don't know where Sarah is. Is she up in the box? I don't know. Sarah, how are you?
Okay, I'm invested now. We have characters
Sarah,
now.
For 30 years. For 30
We have
years,
protagonists.
I learned, she told me she'd been a proud member of the Iron Workers Local 44, known as the Cowboys in the Sky. The folks who built Cincinnati's skyline. Sarah said she can't wait.
They
to-
built Skyline
10
Chili?
stories above the Ohio River, building
shit.
that new bridge. God bless her. That's pride. And that's what we're also building. We're building back pride. Look, we're also replacing poisonous lead pipes that go into 10 million homes in America, 400,000 school and child care centers. So every child in America can
Yeah,
drink
lead
the
pipes,
water
those things that
instead of
fucked up your
having
parents'
permanent
brains
damage
and
to
the
their
reason they
brain.
hate you for being gay.
Look,
Those things.
we're making sure that every community in America has access to affordable high-speed internet. No parent should have to drive by McDonald's parking lot to help them do their homework online with their kids, which many thousands were doing across the country.
That's not bad.
And when we do these projects, and again, I get criticized for this, but I make no excuses for it. We're going to buy American. We're going to buy America. Folks,
I want to get on Biden's internet plan. I wonder if it's fiber
and
optics.
it's totally consistent with international trade rules. Buy America has been the law since 1933, but for too long, past administrations, Democrat and Republican, have fought to get around it. Not anymore. Tonight, I'm announcing new standards that require all construction materials used in federal infrastructure projects to be made in America. Made in America. I mean it. Lumber, glass, drywall, fiber optic cable.
I'll deck you.
And on my watch, American roads, bridges, and American highways are going to be made with American products as well. Folks, my economic plan is about investing in places and people that have been forgotten. So many of you listening to me tonight, I know you feel it. So many of you felt like you've just simply been forgotten. Amid the economic upheaval of the past 4 decades, too many people have been left behind and treated like they're invisible.
So you're halfway into your fucking
Maybe that's you
term.
watching from home. Remember the jobs that went away. You remember them, don't you? The folks at home remember them.
You remember?
You wonder whether the path even exists anymore for your children to get ahead
I
without
remember
having
that.
to move away. Well, that's why I get that. That's why we're building an economy where no one's left behind. Jobs are coming back. Pride is coming back. Because choices we made in the last several years.
Pride's back, baby.
You know, this is, in my view, a blue-collar
The queer
blueprint
is
to rebuild
here.
America and make a real difference in your lives at home. For example, too many of you lay in bed at night like my dad did, staring at the ceiling, wondering what in God's name happens if your spouse gets cancer or your child gets
My
deadly
boy,
ill,
my big
or
boy,
something
there he
happens to
is.
you. What are you going to have? You get money to pay
Beautiful.
for those medical bills?
What a
You're
stud.
going to have to sell the house or try to get a second mortgage on it. I get it. I get it.
Get off
With the
of that.
Inflation Reduction Act that I signed into law, we're taking on powerful interest to bring health care costs down so you can sleep better at night
Get out of there.
with more security. You know, we pay more for prescription drugs than any nation in the world. Let me say it again. We pay more for prescription drugs than any major nation on earth. For example, 1 in 10 Americans has diabetes. Many of you in this chamber do, and in the audience. But every day, millions need insulin to control their diabetes so they can literally stay alive. Insulin's been around for over 100 years. The guy
Some
who
say
invented
even
the
longer
patent
in
because
most
he wanted
human
it to be
bodies.
Available for everyone. It costs the drug companies roughly $10 a vial to make that insulin. Packaging and all, you may get up to $13. But Big Pharma has been unfairly charging people hundreds of dollars, $400 to $500 a month, making record profits. Not anymore.
Watch the conservatives. Let's see if they clap.
Not anymore.
Nope. Nope. Not even the fucking Speaker of the House.
Things that we did are only now coming to fruition. We said we were doing this, and we said we passed the law to do it. but people didn't know because the law didn't take effect until January 1 of this year. We capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors on Medicaid.
For seniors on Medicaid, by the way. They should have done it across the board. That's what bipartisan fucking gets you. We propose something that's, you know, like unambiguously good, and they're like, nah, people don't deserve good things.
200,000 young people.
Bernie's like, oh, God, please make it end. Why did I even show up? I could have just called in sick.
Let's finish the job this time. Let's cap the cost of insulin for everybody at $35.
Conservatives complain about Big Pharma. They never complain about the price of insulin or other medicines. Just the pharma companies / Oh, yeah, and if you bring it up, they'll be like, well, yeah, that too. But, like, also, like, did you know that they're putting chips in your arms and, like, transing your sons?
Well, I promise you all. I promise you they're going to do very well.
Conservatism
this law
just
also
hypocrisy.
caps and won't go into effect until 2025. Costs, out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors on Medicare at a maximum of $2,000 a year. You don't have to pay more than $2,000 a year, no matter how much your drug costs are. Because you know why? You all know it. Many of you, like many in my family, have cancer. You know the drugs can range from $10,000, $11,000, $14,000, $15,000 for the cancer drugs. And if drug prices rise faster than inflation, drug companies are going to have to pay Medicare back the difference. We're finally giving Medicare the power to negotiate drug prices.
That actually is really good.
Bringing down prescription drug costs doesn't just save seniors money. It cuts the federal deficit by billions of dollars.
I do wonder what happened to the public option.
Because these prescription drugs are drugs purchased by Medicare to keep their commitment to the seniors. Well, guess what? Instead of paying $400 or $500 a month, you're paying $15. That's a lot of savings for the federal government. And by the way, why wouldn't we want that? Now, some members here are threatening, and I know it's not an official party position, so I'm going to exaggerate, but threatening to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. As my coach, that's okay. That's fair. As my football coach used to say, lots of luck in your senior year. Make no mistake.
Wait, what did he say?
If you try anything to raise the cost of prescription drugs, I will veto it.
Hey, we're seeing a little bit of Dark Brandon now. There we go. There's the spark. There's the... Oh, fucking suck my goddamn cock, you losers. You fucking bald pieces of shit. Not all of them are bald, but the one that I just saw was. So they're all bald now.
16 million people
I can say that because I'm also bald.
And
they're spiritually bald.
Thanks to the law I signed last year, saving millions, or saving $800 a year on their premiums. And by the way, that law was written and the benefit expires in 2025.
All guys are hot. Well,
so my plea to some of you, at least in this audience, let's finish the job and make these savings permanent. Expand coverage of Medicaid.
They're not like, these are just objectively good things. Is that cinema? God damn. Why is she a fucking Disney princess?
The Inflation Reduction Act is also the most significant investment ever.
She did switch parties, right?
Ever.
I think people just hate her because she's bi, not gonna lie.
Creating American jobs, leading the world to a clean energy future. I visited the devastating aftermath of record floods,
Good fuck
droughts,
cinema.
storms,
There's a time that I might have,
from
but
Arizona to Mexico to all the way up to the Canadian border. More timber has been burned, as I've observed from helicopters, than the entire state of Missouri.
I was gonna say, I've kind of reached a point where, like,
global warming, not a problem.
You're not attractive to
In
me if you're a
addition to
goddamn
emergency
conservative.
recovery,
I'm not even
from
kidding.
Puerto Rico to Florida to Idaho, we're rebuilding for the long term.
She's an
electric
independent?
grids
Oh, okay.
that are able to weather major
So
storms.
she'll clap
and
at like
not
half the
prevent
things
those
that Biden
forest
says, though.
fires.
Just because, you know.
Roads and water systems will stand the next big flood.
Like all the bad
Clean
things.
energy to cut pollution and create jobs in communities often left behind. We're going to build 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations installed across the country by tens of thousands of IBEW workers. And we're helping families save more than $1,000 a year with tax credits to purchase electric vehicles and efficient appliances, energy-efficient appliances, historic
Doesn't seem
conservation
conservative.
efforts.
She's
to be responsible.
She's towing the
stewards of our
conservative
land.
line.
Let's face reality.
Like she
climate crisis doesn't
she doesn't
care if
claim
you're
conservative
red or
status so
blue
that she
state.
can push conservative ideas and
It's
be
an
the
existential
outlier,
threat.
quote unquote.
We have an obligation, not to ourselves, but to our children and grandchildren to confront it. I'm proud of how America at last is stepping up to the challenge. We're still going to need oil and gas for a while. But guess what? No, we do. But there's so much
What the
more to
fuck is
do.
wrong with them?
We got to finish the job. And we pay.
Yeah, I love me some dinosaur fucking smoke that goes up and destroys our planet. I love that.
For these investments in our future by finally making the wealthiest and biggest corporations begin to pay their fair share.
I want Armageddon. Dinosaur juice, that's right. What else would power my car, bitch?
Look, I'm a capitalist. I'm a capitalist, but pay your fair share.
Cringe.
I think a lot of you at home agree with me and many people that you know. The tax system is not fair. It is not fair.
I'm starting to think that Biden is not really a leftist. I'm starting to think he's not as communist as everybody's saying he is. But yeah, he's right. The tax system's not fair. I do like that.
That in 2020, 55 of the largest corporations in America, the Fortune 500, made $40 billion in profits and paid zero in federal taxes? Zero? Folks, it's simply not fair. But now, because of the law I signed, billion-dollar companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. God love them. 15%. That's
Or
less
more.
than a nurse pays.
Save you 15% or more on car insurance. Can we talk about Ilhan and Tlaib always getting shit on for being anti-Semitic while half the Republican Party is George
Under my
Soros
plans,
posting?
as
Oh
long
yeah,
as I'm
no, it's
president,
great.
Nobody earning less than $400,000 will pay an additional penny
sorry.
in taxes. Nobody, not one penny. But let's finish the job. There's more to do. We have to reward work, not just wealth. Pass my proposal for the billionaire minimum tax. You know, there's 1,000 billionaires in America. It's up from about 600 in the beginning of the term. But no billionaire should be paying a lower tax rate than a school teacher or firefighter.
True.
I mean it.
True and real. And look at these goddamn demons, dude. The working class, the party of the working class, folks, not moving an inch from their seats, not even their hands.
Think about it. Have you noticed Big Oil just reported its profits, record profits? Last year they made $200 billion in the midst of a global energy crisis.
God, why does he look like a
I
husk?
think it's outrageous. Why? They invested too
Thinking,
little
"Girl,
of that profit increase.
I must resist the urge.
And when I talk
Must
to a couple
kill.
of them, they say, we're afraid you're going to shut down all the oil wells and all the oil refineries anyway, so why should we invest in them? I said, we're going to need oil for at least another decade.
No.
And that's going to
Last thing
exceed.
Wait, what I miss?
We're going to need it. Production. If they had, in fact, invested in the production to keep gas prices down, instead, they used the record profits to buy back their own stock, rewarding the CEOs and shareholders. Corporations ought to do the right thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I propose we quadruple the tax on corporate stock buybacks and encourage long
Quote of the night.
investments. They'll still make considerable profit.
Well, if corporations just do the right thing, guys. Haven't they ever watched My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic? Sharing is caring.
Instead of cutting the number of audits for wealthy taxpayers, I just signed a law to reduce the deficit by $114 billion by cracking down.
You know, it's actually
on
not a bad
wealthy
show,
tax
guys.
cheats. That's being fiscally
What's wrong with him?
responsible.
Wait,
The last 2 years,
did he start clapping and then
my
stop?
administration has cut the deficit by more than $1.7 trillion, the largest deficit reduction in American history.
Yeah, she does
Under
look a little
the previous
dorky.
administration, the American deficit went up 4 years in a row. Because those record deficits, no president added more to the national debt in any 4 years than my predecessor. Nearly 25% of the entire national debt that took over 200 years to accumulate was added by just one administration alone, the last one.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
They're the facts. Check it out. Check it out.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Smoking hot takes. Dude,
They did the right thing.
let the
They
fists start
lifted the debt
flying. Come
ceiling
on,
3
baby.
times without preconditions or crisis. They paid American bills to prevent an economic disaster in the country. So tonight I'm asking the Congress to follow suit.
It is honestly kind of refreshing to not see Nancy Pelosi behind there, just like following suit, you know?
Some of my Republican friends want to take the economy hostage. I get it. Unless I agree to their economic plans. All of you at home should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share,
Get wrecked, dude.
Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
Oh! Shots fired. Dark Brandon's back. He's creeping out.
Contact my office. I'll give you a copy.
His handlers could not. His handlers could not push back the darkness far enough. It's coming out now.
Well, I'm glad to see you. And I tell you, I enjoy conversion. You know, it means if Congress doesn't keep the programs the way they are, they'd go away. Other
Yeah, you know, that
Republicans
white
say,
collar was
I'm
made
not
from
saying
real
it's a
kitten
majority
fur.
of you. I don't even think it's even a significant.
Once you get past the 2-week stage, it's less fluffy. So you got to get them while they're young.
Not naming them, but it's being
Marjorie knows
by
this
some of
well.
you. Look,
Oh, it's so good.
folks, the idea is that we're not going to be moved into being threatened to default on the debt if we don't respond. Folks,
Yeah. Eat that old, greasy, wrinkly fucking dick, you fucking
folks,
demons.
as we all apparently agree, Social Security and Medicare is off the books now, right? They're not to be stopped. All right.
Okay.
I'm ready. We got
We
unanimity.
got some Republicans not really on board there. I don't know.
Social Security
They kinda
Medicare
had-
are lifeline for millions of seniors.
I guess.
Americans have to pay into them from the very first paycheck they started. So tonight, let's all agree. and
I
we
know
clearly are. Let's stand
M9300.
up for
You're very edgy. You're a good edgy boy. Good job.
Stand up and show them. We will not cut Social Security. We will not cut Medicare. Those benefits belong to the American people. They earned it. And if anyone tries to cut Social Security, which apparently no one's going to do, and if anyone tries to cut Medicare, I'll stop them. I'll veto it. And look, I'm not going to allow them to be taken away. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But apparently it's not going to be a problem. Next
Damn.
month,
Pinky promise.
when I
Yeah,
open
no,
my fiscal
they'll
plan, I
absolutely
ask
break
my
that fucking
Republican
promise,
friends
of
to lay
course.
down their
But
plan
it is
as
nice
well.
to see him say it at least.
I really mean it. Let's sit down together and discuss our mutual plans together. Let's do that.
Oh, yeah, they all love that. They all love that. Listen, we think that the orphan killing machine is actually bad, and we should probably stop killing 100 orphans a month. And the Republicans are like, well, now, wait a minute. Why don't we just cut it down to 50 a month? Come on, let's compromise here. And then they pass this Saving Orphans Act. And the Democrats are like, all you guys, we'll cut it to 75 just for you.
The plan I'm going to show you is going to cut the deficit by another $2 trillion. And it won't cut a single bit of Medicare or Social Security. In fact, we're going to extend the Medicare Trust Fund at least 2 decades, because that's going to be the next argument. How do we keep it solvent, right? Well, we'll not raise tax on anyone making under 400 grand, but we'll pay for it the way we talked about tonight, by making sure that the wealthy and big corporations pay their fair share. Look. Here's the deal. They aren't just taking advantage of the tax code. They're taking advantage of you, the American consumer. Here's my message to all of you out there. I have your back. We're already preventing Americans from receiving surprise medical bills, stopping $1 billion surprise bills per month so far. We're protecting seniors' life savings by cracking down on nursing homes that commit fraud, endanger patient safety, prescribe drugs that are not needed. Millions of Americans can now save thousands of dollars.
I actually
because
want
they
to
can
add
finally
something
get
to
a
the
hearing
nursing
aid
home thing
over the counter without
after
a
this.
prescription.
Because I just got, as some of you know, I got a do not return. I got put on a do not return list for a nursing home, and I know exactly why I did.
It's not capitalism. It's extortion. It's exploitation.
Whoa, wait.
Last year, I cracked down with the help
But then
of
he
many of
repeats
you
himself.
on foreign shipping companies that were making you pay higher prices for every good coming into the country. I signed a bipartisan bill that cuts shipping costs by 90%, helping
We'll talk
American
about it,
farmers,
August.
businessmen, and consumers. Let's finish the job. Pass the bipartisan legislation to strengthen antitrust enforcement and prevent big online platforms from giving their own products an unfair advantage. My administration is also taking on junk fees, those hidden surcharges too many companies use to make you pay more. For example, we're making airlines show you the full ticket price up front, refund your money if your flight is canceled or delayed. We've reduced exorbitant bank overdrafts by saving consumers more than $1 billion a year.
Okay.
We're cutting credit card
All right.
late fees
All right, Brandon.
by 75% from $30 to $8.
All right, Brandon. I'm on board.
Fees
How
may not
board
matter
that
to the
flight.
very wealthy, but they
Am I
matter to
right,
most
folks? Am I
other
right?
folks in homes like the one I grew up in, like many of you did. They add up to hundreds of dollars a month. They make it harder for you to pay your bills or afford that family trip. I know how unfair it feels when a company overcharges you and gets away with it. Not anymore. We've written a bill to stop it all. It's called the Junk Fee Prevention Act. We're going to ban surprise resort fees that hotels charge on your bill.
All
Those
right,
fees
Owl.
can
How are
cost
you,
up to
buddy?
$90 a night at hotels that aren't even resorts. The idea that cable, internet, and cell phone companies can charge you $200 or more if you decide to switch to another provider. Give me a break. We can stop service fees on tickets to concerts and sporting events and make companies disclose all the fees up front. And we'll prohibit airlines from charging $50 round trip for family just to be able to sit together. Baggage fees are bad
Hell yeah,
enough.
dude. The Party of Family Values will not clap for that. The Party of Family Values will not clap for that. See? Told you. See? See? What? Oh, you fucking socialists want families to be able to sit together? Fucking communists.
For too long, workers have been getting stiffed, but not anymore. We're beginning to restore the dignity of work. For example, I should have known this, but I didn't until 2 years ago. 30 million
I think it's good, Hunger Master.
have to sign
Honestly, that's what
non-compete
fucking
agreements
people care about.
for the jobs they take. 30 million. So a cashier at a burger place can't walk across town and take the same job at another burger place and make a few bucks more. It just changed. But they just changed it because we exposed it. That was part of the
Well, they
deal.
can't walk
Look
across
it up.
town at all because they don't have a sidewalk, but I
anymore.
digress.
We're banning those agreements so companies have to compete for workers and pay them what they're worth.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have been doing that already. It's the free market. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is bound to get a response from my friends
Fucking
on my left with the right. I'm so sick and tired of
They
companies
hate
breaking the law
competition.
by preventing workers from organizing. Pass the PRO Act because business have a right. Workers have a right to form a union. And let's guarantee all workers have a living
True.
wage. Let's make sure working parents can afford to raise a family with sick days.
Yes.
Paid family medical leave.
Yes.
Affordable child care.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's start with the railroad.
That's going to enable millions of more people to
never
go
mind.
and stay at work. And let's restore the full child tax credit, which gave tens of millions of parents some breathing room and cut child poverty in half to the lowest level in history. And by the way, when we do all these things, we increase productivity. We increase economic growth. So let's finish the job and get more families access to affordable, quality housing. Let's get seniors who want to stay in their homes the care they need to do so. Let's give more breathing room to millions of family caregivers looking after their loved ones. Pass my plan so we get seniors and people with disabilities the home care and services they need. And support the workers who are doing God's work.
What's 1870? Why are they wearing that
These
badge?
plans are fully paid for, and we can afford to do them. Restoring the dignity of work means making education an
Hold on.
affordable ticket to the
That
middle
idiot unplugged
class.
my keyboard.
You know, when we made public education, 12 years of it universal in the last century, We made the best educated, best paid, we became the best educated, best paid nation in the world. But the rest of the world's caught up. It's caught up. Jill, my wife, who teaches full time, has an expression. I hope I get it right, kid. Any nation that out-educates us is going to out-compete us. Any nation that out-educates is going to out-compete us. Folks, we all know 12 years of education is not enough to win the economic competition of the 21st century. We want to have the best educated workforce. Let's finish the job by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. Studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school and go on to earn a 2 or 4 year degree, no matter their background they came from.
If you're seeing angel number 1870, the message relates to the field of personality development and creativity and says that your personal growth expressed in the ability to feel and understand people is gaining strength. Oh God, that sounds like some fucking, what is it called? Whatever constellation shit is.
Increasing Pell Grants for working and middle-class families. Let's finish the job and connect students to career opportunities starting in high school. Provide access to 2 years of community college. The best career training in America, in addition to being a pathway to a 4-year degree. Let's offer every
Why won't the Republicans stand and clap for that, huh? I don't understand. Why won't they clap for that? These are just objectively good things that you can't argue are good. Or are not good.
In the midst of the COVID crisis, when schools were closed and we were shutting down everything, let's recognize how far we came in the fight against the pandemic itself.
No, they're not clapping. No,
While
they're
the
not.
virus is not gone, thanks to the resilience of the American people and the ingenuity of medicine, we've broken the COVID grip on us.
Not really.
COVID deaths are down by 90%. We've
Are they?
saved millions of lives and opened up our country. We opened our country back up. And soon we'll end
I
the
could be
public
wrong
health
on that.
emergency. But that's called a public health emergency. But we'll remember.
Oh, okay, Oasis. Thank
It's never
you.
going to go away. More than 1 million Americans lost their lives to COVID. 1 million. Families grieving. Children orphaned. Empty chairs at the dining room table constantly reminding you that she used to sit there.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up.
We remain
Was
vigilant.
starting to move on,
We still
but
need
thanks
to
for
monitor
ripping that
dozens of
Band-Aid back off.
variants and
Appreciate
support
that.
New vaccines and treatments.
I personally have not
Congress
lost
needs to
anybody to
fund these efforts and keep
COVID, by the way.
America
I'm just
safe.
saying.
And as we emerge from this crisis stronger, we're also got to double down on prosecuting criminals who stole relief money meant to keep workers and small businesses afloat.
True. Oh, now they stand up, yeah. Yeah, because they have to.
Before I came to office, you remember, during that campaign, the big issue was about inspector generals.
It's at 79%? What the
taxpayers'
fuck?
dollars
I knew it
from the
was like
sideline.
low-ish, but
They were fired.
that's insane.
Many people said we don't need them, and fraud became rampant. Last year, I told you the watchdogs are back. Since then, we've recovered billions of taxpayers' dollars. Now let's triple the anti-fraud strike force going after these criminals, double the statute of limitations on these crimes, and crack down on identity fraud by criminal syndicates stealing billions of dollars from the American people.
Crack down, more like go down on that crack.
Every dollar we put
Am I
into
right?
fighting
No,
fraud,
that's
the taxpayers
stupid.
get
Sorry.
back at least 10 times as much. It matters. It matters. Look, COVID left its scars, like the spike in violent crime in 2020, the first year of the pandemic. We have an obligation to make sure all people are safe. Public safety depends on public trust, as all of us know. But too often that trust is violated. Joining us tonight are the parents of Tyree Nichols. Welcome.
They look thrilled. I mean,
I had to bury Tyree last week.
dog, I would be
Many of
fucking
you
numb. I
personally
don't
know.
know.
There's
I
no
know.
words to describe the heartache or grief of losing a child. But imagine.
You know, Biden would know
Imagine if
that,
you
to be
lost that
fair.
child at the hands of the law. Imagine having to worry whether your son or daughter came home from walking down the street, playing in the park, or just driving a car. Most of us in here have never had to have the talk that brown and black parents have had to have with their children. Bo, Hunter, Ashley, my children, I never had to have the talk with them. I never had to tell them if a police officer pulls you over, turn your interior lights on right away. Don't reach for your license. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Imagine having to worry like that every single time. your kid got in a car. Here's what Tyree's mother shared with me when I spoke to her. When I asked her how she finds the courage to carry on and speak out. The faith of God, she said her son was, quote, a beautiful soul, and something good will come of this. Imagine how much courage
my
and
heart
carry
fucking
that
hurts,
takes.
dude.
It's up to us, to all of us. We all want the same thing. Neighborhoods free of violence. Law enforcement who earns the community's trust. Just as every cop, when they pin on that badge in the morning, has a right to be able to go home at night, so does everybody else out there. Our children have a right to come home safely. Equal protection under the law is a covenant we have with each other in America.
Republicans like, all right, yeah, I guess their kid died, yeah, whatever.
We know police officers put their lives on the line every single night and day.
Well, half like.
And we know we ask them in many cases to do too much to be counselors, social workers, psychologists, responding to drug overdoses, mental health crises, and so much more. In one sense, we ask much too much of them. I know most cops and their families are good, decent, honorable people, the vast majority. But they risk and they risk their lives.
40% have self-reported to have beat their wives, so, you know.
But what happened to Tyree in Memphis happens too often. We have to do better.
Yeah, at
Give
least
law
60% of
enforcement
them,
the
man.
real
At
training
least.
they need. Hold them to higher standards.
That we know of.
Help them succeed in keeping us safe. We also need more first responders and professionals to address the growing mental health, substance abuse challenges. More resources to reduce violent crime and gun crime.
No, that's 40% self-reported.
More investment in housing, education, and job training. All this can help prevent violence in the first place. And when police officers or police departments violate the public trust, they must be held accountable. With the support of the families of victims, civil rights groups, and law enforcement, I signed an executive order for all federal officers, banning chokeholds, restricting no-knock warrants, and other key elements of the George
things
Floyd
that
Act.
are already illegal.
Let's commit ourselves to make the words of Tyler's mom true. Something good.
We have to be
must
like,
come
by the
from
way, this is illegal for
Something
you
good.
too.
And all of us,
Seeing grieving parents hurts my fucking soul, man. It stings so bad.
Simple. All of us in this chamber, we need to rise to this moment. We can't turn away. Let's do what we know in our hearts that we need to do. Let's come together to finish the job on police reform. Do something. That was the plea of parents who lost their children in Uvalde. I met with every one of them. Do something about gun violence. Thank God. Thank God we did. Passing the most sweeping gun safety law in 3 decades. That includes things like that the majority of responsible gun owners already support. Enhanced background checks for 18 to 21 years old. Red flag laws, keeping guns out of the hands of people who are a danger to themselves and others. But we know our work is not done. Joining us tonight is Brandon Say, a 26-year-old hero. Brandon put his college dreams on hold to be at his mom's side. His mom's side when she was dying from cancer.
Huh? Who's this guy?
And Brandon,
I thought he was Brandon.
Brandon now works at the dance studio started by his grandparents. And 2 weeks ago, during the Lunar New Year celebrations, he heard the studio door close, and he saw a man standing there pointing a semi-automatic pistol at him. He thought he was going to die, but he thought about the people inside. And in that instant, he found the courage to act and wrestled a semi-automatic pistol away from the gunman who had already killed 11 people in another dance studio. 11. He saved lives. It's time we do the same. Ban assault weapons now. Ban them now.
He was the guy. They're so pissed, dude. By the way, he did that unarmed.
In
As most shootings are stopped by unarmed
Mass
citizens.
shootings went down after we let it expire in the Republican administration. Mass shootings tripled. Let's finish the job and ban these assault weapons. And let's also come together on immigration.
I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other on banning assault weapons, by the way. I really don't. I think there are things you can do that are like outside of total bans that will help reduce the violence by just as much.
Arresting 8,000 human smugglers, seizing over 23,000 pounds of fentanyl in just the last several months. We've launched a new border plan last month. Unlawful migration from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela has come down 97% as a consequence of that. But American border problems won't be fixed until Congress acts. If we don't pass my comprehensive immigration reform, at least pass my plan to provide the equipment and officers to secure the border. And a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those on temporary status, farm workers, essential workers. Here in the People's House, it's our
How common are
duty
assault
to
weapons in
protect
the
all
hood?
people's
I have
rights
no
and
clue.
freedoms. Congress must restore the right and the...
Wait, what?
Congress must restore the right that was taken away in Roe v. Wade and protect Roe v. Wade.
Hell yeah. Dude, he's staring them down while he says it. Come on, baby. Come on.
Every woman a consular right.
Yeah, fuck y'all Republicans, boy. Boy, stare them down.
Access to reproductive
Do it, my king.
and safeguard patient safety.
Abort all future children.
Enforcing extreme abortion bans.
Sorry,
Make
it was a
no
little too
mistake
far.
about it. If Congress passes a national ban, I will veto it. But let's also pass.
Yeah, Dark Brandon is back in force, baby. He's back.
Let's also pass the Bipartisan Equality Act to ensure LGBTQ Americans, especially transgender young people,
Yes,
can live
yes.
with safety and dignity.
Yes. The only one on that side.
It's not just
Fuck
an
off.
example of our power, but the power of our example. Let's remember the world's watching. I spoke in this chamber 1 year ago, just days after Vladimir Putin unleashed his brutal attack against Ukraine. A murderous assault, evoking images of death and destruction Europe suffered in World War II. Putin's invasion has been a test for the ages.
I think we're getting to the wrap-up
Test
point
for
here.
America, a test for the world. Would we stand for the most basic of principles? Would we stand for sovereignty? Would we stand for the right of people to live free of tyranny? Would we stand for the defense of democracy? For such defense matters to us because it keeps peace and prevents open season on would-be aggressors.
Why would you not clap for that as a Republican? I don't get it. I thought your whole deal was like, there you go. There you see. It took a minute. That was like their whole reason for like bombing brown people.
And together, we did what America always
They're like,
does
oh,
at
well,
our
yeah, you know.
best. We led. We united NATO. We built a global coalition. We stood against Putin's aggression. We stood with the Ukrainian people. Tonight, we're once again joined by Ukrainian's ambassador to the United States. She represents not just her nation, but the courage of her people. Our ambassador is here. We're united in our support of your country.
Is that her dad?
Would you stand so we can all take a look at you? Thank you.
What the fuck was that? What do you mean, what was that? She didn't seem to mind. I think I think they're related.
As long as it takes. Our nation's working for more.
No, I think that's her
more
dad,
dignity,
bro.
More peace, not just in Europe but everywhere. Before I came to office, the story was about how the People's Republic.
I mean, I don't know. It could have been a guy being creepy, I guess, but
America's
I don't
failing
think
in the world.
that's what it was.
Not anymore. We made clear, and I made clear in my personal conversations, which have been many, with President Xi, that we seek competition, not conflict. But I will make no apologies that we're investing to make America stronger. Investing in American innovation and industries that will define the future that China intends to be dominating. Investing in our alliances. And working with our
Wait,
allies
he
to
just
protect
shushed
advanced
her.
technologies
Did you see that?
So they will not be used against us. Modernizing our military to safeguard stability and deter aggression. Today,
he's like, not now.
we're the strongest
A bad
position in
time,
decades
bro.
to compete
Stop.
with China or anyone else in the world.
Shut up. Ruining this. The quiet part.
China, where we can advance American interests and benefit the world. But make no mistake about it. As we made clear last week, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did.
Why do the generals look like they're pickled? I don't know.
Let's be clear. Winning the competition should unite all of us. We face serious challenges across the world. But in the past 2 years, democracies have become stronger, not weaker. Autocracy has grown weaker, not stronger. Name me a world leader who changed places with Xi Jinping. Name me one. Name me one.
Name him one.
America's rallying the world to
Do
meet
it.
those challenges, from climate to global health, to food insecurity, to terrorism, to territorial aggression. Allies are stepping up, spending more, and doing more. Look, the bridges we're forming.
triple
between
dog
partners in
dare
the
you,
Pacific
Jack.
And those in the Atlantic. And those who bet against America are learning how wrong they are. It's never, ever been a good bet to bet against America. Never.
It's okay. Reel it in, Brandon. Reel it in. Listen, I've seen America do some shit. Okay.
When I came to office, most assured that bipartisanship assumed was impossible, but never believed it. That's why a year ago I offered a unity agenda to the nation as I stood here. We made real progress together. We passed a law making it easy for doctors to prescribe effective treatments for opioid addiction. We passed the gun safety law, making historic investments in mental health. We launched the ARPA-H drive for breakthrough in the fights against cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes, and so much more. We passed the Heath Robinson PACT Act, named after the late Iraq War veteran whose story about exposure to toxic burn kits I shared here last year.
It does make him look short when she stands up. It's kind of funny. He looks like a little person.
I understand something about those burn pits, but there's so much more to do. We can do it together. Joining us tonight is a father named Doug from Newton, New Hampshire. He wrote Jill, my wife, a letter, and me as well, about his courageous daughter, Courtney. A contagious laugh, his sister's best friend, her sister's best friend. He shared a story all too familiar to millions of Americans and many of you in the audience. Courtney discovered pills in high
Goddamn,
school.
they really rounded up all the grieving parents,
She spiraled
didn't
into
they?
addiction.
Christ.
And eventually death from a fentanyl overdose. She was just 20 years old. Describing the last 8 years without her, Doug said, "There's no worse pain."
God,
Yet the
she was only a
family has
year
turned
older than me,
pain to
dude.
Purpose, working to end the stigma and change laws. He told us he wants to start a journey toward American recovery. Doug, we're with you.
No, I agree,
Fentanyl
Avalon.
is killing more than 70,000 Americans a year.
It was a good move.
Big,
What?
you got it.
What? Murder. It's your fault.
So let's launch a major surge to stop fentanyl production and the sale and trafficking, with more drug detection machines, inspection cargo, stop pills and powder.
They were saying it's his fault.
Working with couriers like FedEx to inspect more packages for drugs.
Disrespectful as fuck, man. Let me tell you something.
Fentanyl trafficking.
Just absolute
Second, let's do
demons.
more on mental health, especially for our children. When millions of young people are struggling with bullying, violence, trauma.
They think it's Dems' fault because they think all the drugs are coming from Mexico, and they think that Democrats are like wheeling the Mexicans in on fucking clown cars. You know what I mean? Like they pack like half a dozen, or they pack like dozens of them into one tiny little clown car and like just like wheel them over or something so that they can vote, I guess. But they're illegal, so they can't vote. So like, you know.
And impose stricter limits on the personal data that companies collect on all of us. Third, let's do more to keep this nation's one truly sacred obligation, to equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home. Job training, job placement for veterans and their spouses as they come to return to civilian life.
That'd be a
Helping
good
veterans
start.
afford the rent, because no one should be homeless in America, especially someone who served the country.
How about just like housing them? You know, like how about just like giving that shit to them? I don't know.
Dennis McDonough is here of the VA. We had a first real discussion when I asked him to take the job. I'm glad he did. We were
Listen,
losing up to
Laura, come
25
on. Let's
veterans
not
a day
get
on
crazy here.
Suicide. Now we're losing 17 a day to the silent scourge of suicide. 17 veterans a day are committing suicide, more than all the people.
Yeah, why
being
is
killed
that?
in the wars. Folks, VA is doing everything it can, including expanding mental health screening, proven programs that recruits veterans to help other veterans understand what they're going through, get them the help they need. We got to do more. And fourth, last year, Jill and I reignited the cancer moonshot that I was able to start with President Obama asked me to lead our administration on this issue. Our goal is to cut the cancer death rates at least by 50% in the next 25 years, turn more cancers from death sentences to treatable diseases, provide more support for patients and their families. It's personal to so many of us in this audience. Joining us are Morris and Candice.
I don't like this idea that like the suicide of
They met and fell in love in New York City.
of veterans is like purely a mental health issue.
New York City.
You know,
Kindred spirits.
because that's
He wrote us a
way
letter
underselling it.
about his little daughter Ava.
Oh man, they're killing
I
themselves.
saw her
Wow,
just
they
before
must
I
be
came
fucking
over.
crazy or something, huh? Wow,
She was
we should
just
do
a
something
year
about
old
that.
when she was diagnosed with rare kidney disease, cancer. After 26 blood transfusions, 11 rounds of radiation, 8 rounds of chemo, 1 kidney removed, given a 5% survival
It's an
rate.
issue with war, sure, but
He
like
wrote down
also
in the
not
darkest
having their
moments he
basic
thought,
needs
if she
met.
goes, I can't stay. Many of you have been through that as well. Jill and I understand that, like so many.
Yeah,
of
Hunger
you.
Master, I understand that. It's
You read
I'm not saying it's
Jill's book
not a mental
describing
health
our
issue.
family
I'm saying
cancer
it's
journey
way more complex
and
than
how we
that.
tried to steal moments of joy where we could with Bo. For them, that glimmer of joy was the half smile of their baby girl. It meant everything to them. They never gave up hope. Little Ava never gave up hope. She turns 4 next month. They just found out Ava's beating the odds, is on her way to being cured of cancer.
Whoa.
She's watching from the White House tonight. If
Pog.
you're asleep already.
How much did it cost? Only $10,000 for the first round of treatment.
We can say in the lives we've lost, let this be a truly American moment that rallies the country and the world together.
Not to bring down the
prove that we
mood,
can
but
still
you know,
do big
the
things.
reality for most people.
20 years ago, under the leadership of President Bush and countless advocates and champions.
That's for the
we
first
undertook
round
a
of treatment
bipartisan
goes
effort
with
through
a
PEPFAR
coupon.
to
You need the
transform
coupon,
global
and it's got to be
fight against
printed.
HIV/AIDS. It's been a huge success. He thought big. He thought large. He moved.
Oh God, is he praising
I believe
Bush?
We can do the same thing with cancer.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, and make sure you
Once
print
and
the
for
coupon. If it's on your phone, it doesn't
Folks,
count.
There's one reason why we've been able to do all of these things: our democracy itself.
And if they
It's the
wanted to
most
cure
fundamental
cancer,
thing
they'd
of
clear
all.
out them Republicans real fast.
Democracy.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything's possible. Without it, nothing is. The last few years, our democracy has been threatened and attacked, put at risk, put to the test in this very room on January the 6th. And then just a few months ago, an unhinged big lie assailed and unleashed a political violence, the home of the then Speaker of the House of Representatives, using the very same language the insurrectionists used as they stalked these halls and chanted on January 6th. Here tonight in this chamber is a man who bears the scars of that brutal attack, but is as tough and as strong and as resilient as they get. My friend Paul Pelosi. Paul, stand up.
Oh, that's Paul Pelosi. I thought that. Ah, man, he looks like he's doing well. I wonder how his gay lover's doing.
There's no place for political violence in America. We have to protect the right to vote, not suppress the fundamental right. Honor the results of our elections, not subvert the will of the people. We have to uphold the rule of law and restore trust in our institutions of democracy. And we must give hate and extremism in any form no safe harbor.
What about extremely nice people?
Democracy
Checkmate.
must not be a partisan issue. It's an American issue. Every generation of Americans has faced a moment where they have been called to protect our democracy, defend it, stand up for it. And this is our moment. My fellow Americans,
Oh, that makes sense,
we
August.
meet tonight at an inflection point, one of those moments that only a few generations ever face, where the direction we now take is going to decide the course of this nation for decades to come. We're not bystanders of history. We're not powerless before the forces that confront us. It's within our power of we, the people, We're facing the test of our time. We have to be the nation we've always been.
No, he didn't, Hunkin' Master. He was talking about the guy who broke in and beat up Paul Pelosi.
Light over dark, hope over fear, unity over division, stability over chaos. We have to see each other not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. We're good people. The only nation in the world built on an idea. The only one.
I mean, I don't think that's true.
Other nations are defined by geography, ethnicity. But we're the only nation based on an idea.
Yeah, that guy, Hunkin' Master.
That all of us, every one of us, is created equal in the image of God. A nation that stands as a beacon of the world. A nation in a new age of possibilities. So I've come to fulfill my constitutional obligation to report in the State of the Union. And here's my report. Because the soul of this
nation
is
has
strong,
begun.
Because the
an age
of this nation
of
is strong.
freedom.
The people of this nation are strong. The State of the Union is strong.
And all the world will know that 300 Spartans give their last breath to defend it.
I'm not new to this place. I stand here tonight having served as long as about any one of you have ever served here.
Probably longer.
But I've never been more optimistic about our future, about the future of America.
Not optimistic about yours for too much longer, buddy.
We're the United States of America, and there's nothing beyond our capacity if we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
All right. All right. We got a little more juice out of him than I expected. I'll be real. The darkness was creeping in. It was creeping in. We saw a little bit of the darkness jumping in. I'll be real. This speech doesn't mean anything, right? Like, it's not going to change anything. Nothing fundamental is going to, there's going to be no waves that will occur because of, yeah, exactly, August. Like, come on, let's be real. Nothing's going to change. But what this does show us, at least, it gives us a little example of, like, how deranged and opposed to good things the Republicans are. Because you'll notice, like, there were certain times where they were forced to stand and clap, sure. But even the new Speaker of the House, I forget his fucking name, was shushing some of his Republican colleagues, telling them, hey, shut the fuck up. Like, don't be an idiot. Like, come on, guys, come on. Like, just hold it in a little longer. I know that you're bursting at the seams. You've been cum stacking for like decades now to do this shit, but just hold it in a little longer, okay? We gotta save the fascism, right? Like, they just don't like anything that's objectively good. They were talking about lowering drug prices, and they're just like sitting there like, ugh, the poors will get treated. The poors will get medicine. I fucking hate that. I hate that. I hate it when people have good things that aren't me or my colleagues. Anyway, every Republican in the room looked miserable as shit. That is true. Yeah, they looked like old saggy sacks of shit. Like I said, I mean, we're not learning anything that we didn't know already. Republicans suck. Democrats aren't actually going to do anything. Dark Brandon will reign terror over all of us and force estrogen into the boys and make us all wear little maid dresses and cater to his every whim. We all know this already, okay? These are things that we've already known. But like I said, it does give us, I guess, a glimpse of like the state of the Republicans' mindset right now. They just they don't want good things. They seem to be diametrically opposed. So anyway, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you want to join my channel as a member, go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join and join for 99 cents a month. Only 99 cents a month, and you get an awesome beanie badge next to your name. You get a few custom emotes that you can use in my comment sections, and you get to see videos early before they are released to the general public. If that interests you, please give me your money. If not, that's okay. I love you anyway. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.